What's up, guys? I'm going to show you how to fully integrate your receptionist or voice agent with GoHighLevel. And so what I'm going to show you is how to run the client's number that they're calling from to see if it's a returning client, how to book, reschedule, and cancel appointments. And I'll also show you an easy, simple way to put, end of call reports on clients, or an easy way to put them into an automation. So if you guys want the templates, they'll be in the link down below in the school community. Yeah, if you guys want this built for you, then there should be a Calendly link down below. Yeah, like the video if you like the video or you learned something. Comment something else you guys might want to see. And if you guys want to see some more content around AI, then just hit subscribe. I'll show you some demos of the booking flow and how it reschedules and cancels. And then I'll get into the tutorial.
Thank you for calling Radiance Med Spa. This is Sophia, their AI assistant. Am I speaking with John Doe?
Yeah, you are.
Welcome back, John. How can I help you today?
I just want to book an appointment.
Perfect, John. Let's get started with your booking. Is your email still dementry@gmail.com?
Yes.
Got it. And is +64204024045 still the best number to reach you?
Yeah, it is.
Great. What brings you in today? We offer Botox, dermal fillers, laser treatments, and facials.
Yeah, I'll do some laser treatment.
Understood. What day and time works best for your appointment?
Can we try Tuesday at like 10 a.m.?
Let me check our availability. I have Tuesday, November 4th at 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., or 10 a.m. available. Which works best for you?
Probably 10 a.m.
Perfect. Booking that now. Perfect. I have you booked for Tuesday, November 4th at 10 a.m. for laser treatment. You'll receive a confirmation text and email shortly. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's it.
Yes. Great. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Okay, so I'll reschedule and cancel now.
Thank you for calling Radiance Med Spa. This is Sophia, their AI assistant. Am I speaking with John Doe?
Yeah, you are.
Welcome back, John. How can I help you today?
Hey, I called earlier. I just wanted to reschedule my appointment. Something just came up.
Got it, John. I'll help you with rescheduling your appointment. What phone number did you use to book the appointment?
Just this one.
To confirm, that's +64204024045.
Yep.
Looking for your appointment now? I see you have an appointment on Tuesday, November 4th at 10 a.m. for laser treatment. Is that the one?
Maybe, yeah, that's it.
Would you like to reschedule to a different time or cancel the appointment?
Yeah, just a little bit earlier would be good. Maybe like 9 a.m.
What day would you like to reschedule to at 9 a.m.?
That same day. I think it's Tuesday.
Checking availability for Tuesday, November 4th at 9 a.m. now. Great. Tuesday, November 4th at 9 a.m. is available. Would you like me to reschedule your appointment to that time?
Yep.
Updating your appointment to Tuesday, November 4th at 9 a.m. now. Perfect. Your appointment has been updated to Tuesday, November 4th at 9 a.m. Anything else I can help you with today?
Hold on. Actually, I don't think I want to come in anymore. Wait, hold on. I'm in a sticky situation.
No problem.
No, just cancel it. Just cancel it.
I understand. Can I ask the reason for cancellation? You can share if you like, or it's okay to skip.
To be honest, I'm scared of lasers.
Thank you for sharing that, John. I'll go ahead and cancel your appointment now. Your appointment on Tuesday, November 4th has been canceled. We'd love to see you in the future. Just give us a call when you're ready to rebook. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Okay, so to get started, we'll come to Retell, log in or create an account. Put my link down below if you guys want to use it. But yeah, once you're in, you're just gonna hit create an agent. We'll go voice agent, and for me, I'm just gonna use a multi-prompt. You choose whatever agent type you want. I'll use multi-prompt, and I'll hit create. So I'll just rename it GoHighLevel tutorial, just because it says tutorial. Just keep it on like GPT 4.1 mini, and then I'm building this out right now, like live. So I'll just get a quick prompt made for a med spa. So I'll just paste that in, and you can see you are Sophia, professional and friendly AI receptionist for Radiance Med Spa with expertise in scheduling consultations and managing appointments. You respond naturally like a human, not robotically. You are intelligent and pick up on obvious cues without asking redundant questions. Ask one question at a time and wait for responses. Then we just got business context, the tools available across the whole agent, not just an individual state. And then we've got a note here for other tools that are just in their own states. And we've got dynamic variables. This will only be returned if a contact is found, and it's just anything you'd get from a contact in GoHighLevel that you might use in the call. So that'll just be the name, the email, the phone, the contact ID. I don't think we'll put the last appointment date, and then appointment count, which we'll remove as well. Then we just got a call opening, so how to handle if a contact has been found from the webhook. So thank you for calling the med spa. This is Sophia, the AI assistant. Am I speaking with name? And then if yes, then you obviously have their details. And then if contact is not found, then just treat them as a new customer. Then we just got the task. So handle inbound calls for Radiance Med Spa, answer questions about services, schedule consultations, and route to appropriate states based on their needs. And just got a main flow. So we got intent recognition, see what they want, obviously. So if they want to book an appointment, reschedule, cancel, or just calling in to inquire about, certain things. Then we got how to answer questions, keep answers brief, and then after answering, would you like to book a consultation? And we just got state transitions. You see it's critical, and it says that everyone follows the same path for booking. So that just means whether they're returning or a new client, they still got to go down info collection state and the appointment booking state after that. I'll add those states in after this. And then modification route. So if a user wants to cancel or reschedule their appointment, then transition immediately to the appointment modification state. After task completion, just make sure that you don't hang up on the user. Make sure that you complete everything the user wants. Then just got some guidelines, and then just an in-call protocol. And while we're in the general prompt, we may as well add in a in-call. Oh, it's already here. I don't remember putting that in, but that's all we need to put in. And then knowledge base, we got no knowledge base. Speech settings, we can just leave it like that. Real-time transcription, just go optimize for accuracy. Post-call analysis, we'll probably add some stuff in later, or we'll just have a summary for now. So we'll go summary of the call or main topics, points of the conversation, 5 sentences max. We'll see. And maybe we'll add some stuff in later. And then no security and fallback settings. For webhook settings, we'll put a webhook in here soon when we connect the functions. And then no MCPs connected. And for the welcome message, we'll just have it AI speaks first with a dynamic message. So from here, we'll just hit edit prompt tree. I'll click on new state. So for the first one, we'll just call it main. Then we'll add a new state, and we won't put any prompt in that main state. Then from here, we'll call this one info collection. Then we'll add a new state, and we'll call this one appointment booking. And then we'll add one more state. So, and that one will just be modify appointment. So we'll hit save. So for info collection, I'll paste in the prompt, and there's going to be no functions in this one because we're just collecting and reconfirming the customer's or client's information. And so if we just go through it, you can see question 1, it's going to ask for their email, going to ask for their phone, and question 2. Question 3 is going to be their service interest. And then question 4 is going to be their timing preference, so what day and time works best for you. And then it'll go to appointment booking. So I'll paste in the appointment booking state. So we'll have 3 functions in here, but I'll add that in after we go through the prompts for each state. And appointment booking is just going to check the availability for us and then create or update a contact if it's a new client, because you can't book an appointment without having a contact created in GoHighLevel, and then it's going to book the appointment in appointment booking. So if we want to go through the state, it looks a little bit messed up, but I'll come back to it if we have to when we test it out. And then we'll come to modify appointment, and I'm just going to rename it actually to appointment modification, and I'm just going to paste in the prompt for the state. And then this one's got like 5 tools, I think, or 5 functions, and 2 of them are just going to be to get the appointment. One of them is going to be to check availability, to update an appointment, and another one's going to be to cancel an appointment. And actually I think it might be 6 because we need to put in book appointment for, for a fallback if a user decides to cancel and then book again instead of rescheduling. And then you can see here it's just going to ask. And then just looking at the prompt or the flow, I don't really like how it's flowing, so I'm just going to get this made again real quick. Okay, so I'm going to paste that one back in, and this one's a little bit better. So for this one, it's just going to ask what phone number did you use or what email did you use to book the appointment. And it's going to use either get appointment with the email or get appointment with the phone. And then you obviously have that appointment to be able to cancel it or reschedule it. But yeah. Okay, so now we've got all our state prompts and our general prompt. We'll add in our functions and we'll just go through and we'll configure them one by one. So for the first one, we'll do check availability. So we'll go add, go custom function, and we'll go check availability. So now we need to head over to n8n to get ourselves a webhook. If you don't know what n8n is, it's just going to be able to help us bridge our agent to GoHighLevel, basically. Yeah, you can you can sign in or create an account. It'll be cheaper to self-host it, but if you're not technical and you just want to get started, they offer a free trial, so I may as well try it out while learning. Anyways, log in and create a workflow. And so once you've created your workflow, the first step will be a webhook. So we'll be webhook, and I'm just going to call this path GoHighLevel tutorial. We'll change it to a post and change the test URL to production URL, and just click on it to copy it, and we'll come back to retail and we'll paste this there. And I'm just gonna put a sticky note of the webhook right here. Okay, so from here we need to put our JSON schema. For this, we're just gonna need to send through a date and a time, so obviously whatever the user wants to check. And so the easiest way will just be to click example. And so I like to use Claude, and I've got a project on creating workflows anyways, but paste that in and we'll just say create the schema for the date and time requested. I only need 2 items. And then yeah, all you need to do is just copy this and just paste it in here, and then you're sweet. But I'm just gonna paste mine in because mine just says date, not requested before. Anyways, from there we'll just hit speak during execution, and I'll just say checking now, and we'll hit save. So once that's done, we'll add in another tool, and there will just be another custom function, and this one will be update underscore contact. This is update and creating a contact, but I just call it update contact. I'll grab my URL again, I'll paste that in there, and then I'll paste in my schema. You can see that all we're doing is sending through the name, the phone number, the email, and then the contact ID. And then has contact ID will just be if they have a contact ID or if they don't, and that'll be the deciding factor whether you need to create or update a contact. And then from here, I just like to have it say updating your contact information, or we can just have it say updating your information, and hit save. And then one more function or tool in this state will be book appointment. So we'll go custom function again and go book underscore appointment, grab our URL, paste it, and I'll paste in the schema as well. And all you need to send through for the book appointment function will be the contact ID, the start time, which needs to be with the date as well, and then the notes is optional. But yeah, you can see here the notes just says what service they're interested in. We'll click on speak during execution again, and then for the message I'll just have it say booking that now, and we'll hit save. And so we may as well set the check availability up while we're setting up the appointment booking. So we'll hit test chat, and we're gonna manual chat. So how can I help you today? Book an appointment. Great. Are you a returning client, or is this your first time with us? I'll say first time. Thanks for letting me know. What's your name? If you could spell it, that would be great. And I'll just say John, and your last name Doe. So your first name is John, last name Doe. Say yes. Perfect. What is your email address? I'll say give him my email. So that's my email. Say yes. Great. What's the best phone number to reach you? I'll just put a random one. What brings you in today? We offer Botox, dermal fillers, laser treatments, and facials. I'll just say Botox. Great. What day and time works best for you? I'll say, can we do tomorrow at 9 a.m. And so what it should do is transition to appointment booking. and then check the availability. Okay, so you can see it said update contact. I think I seen in there that it updates contact first, so I might have to change this as well. Yeah, create or update contact. So I'll create another prompt and then I'll be back. Okay, so just got a prompt created, so I'll paste that in. And you can see step 1 is now what it should be, check availability. So I'll send this through again. And actually, before we send this through again, we'll come back to n8n and we'll activate the flow. So activate that right there. I got it. And then I'll say tomorrow at 9 a.m. So I should transition to appointment booking and then use check availability. So transitioned and then I use check availability. And then it's saying that it has availability, but not right because we haven't set up that path in n8n. So we'll go back to n8n, we'll grab that execution. And if you want to check it, we'll click on it. We'll close this call. And you can see that's check availability for tomorrow at 9 a.m. So we'll copy to editor. And all that does is just copies the webhook or the execution to the editor. Makes sense, right? From here, we'll add a switch. So switch. And what we'll do is we'll close the call and we'll drag this name and we'll put it in value 1. And we'll put is equal to check underscore availability. So if we execute that step, then it's going to come out the other side. You can see here. But if it's anything else, like check availability 1, it's not going to go through. So I'll just rename the output to check availability. Okay, so we'll send that through to the other side. And then from here, we'll add a set fields node. So we'll set, and we'll click add field, and we'll add another one. And so for the name, we're just going to put start time, and we're just going to put end time. For the values, what we're going to put is from the webhook, close the headers, close the call, and grab the args of the date. And we'll paste that in there. And then what we need to do is add to the expression is go plus, and then put these apostrophe things, go T, go 0, or at what time does a med spa usually open? Maybe like 9, I wouldn't know. But we'll go 9, 0, then we can just add in another set of zeros as well. And so that just means that we're setting the start time for the med spa for 9 a.m. And then we'll paste that same expression and we'll just put 5 p.m. as close. So that's what 17 hours on the 31st. So that's 5 p.m. So we're setting the times to be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on that day that it's going to search for. So we'll send that through. And from here, what we're going to do is going to add a date and time node. And this is just going to be format a date. And all this is going to be the date. And we're going to format it to Unix milliseconds timestamp. And we'll output it as start Unix. We'll execute that step. And then we'll duplicate the same node. We'll connect it up. And then instead of start time, it's just going to be end time. And actually, we'll just drag and drop this one because it's not the node before. And we'll call this one end Unix and send that through. So I'll just rename these fields to start time to end time. And then from here, we need to send a request to the calendar. So we'll just go request. We'll just leave it like this for now. We'll go to the GoHighLevel documentation. So yeah, this is their new documentation. It's Marketplace GoHighLevel, or I don't know, maybe it's new for me, but their old documentation, you need to like have a whole login for it. So I guess this is what we're using now. So find the calendars and then go to calendars, and we need to click on get free slots. And then from here, the easiest thing to do would be to just copy this curl right here. So if it's on Node or Python, just change it to curl and we'll just copy it. And then we'll click import curl and we'll paste that in and we'll hit import. So there's a couple things that we need to do, and that's just get the private integration token, get the calendar ID for whatever calendar you want to search for. And there's some other things that we need to add in as well. Because if you see here, there's a couple more things that are required. So we'll head over to GoHighLevel and we'll get our calendar ID. And I'll just copy this ID right here. I'll come back to n8n and I'll replace that placeholder there. And then we need to grab our private integration token. So we'll come back to GoHighLevel. We'll scroll down and we'll go to private integrations. And then what we need to do is hit create new integration. I'll just call this one tutorial, and then I'll hit next. And then we need to add in our scopes. So for this one, it's most likely going to be view calendars, edit calendars, view and edit calendar events, calendar groups, resources, view, edit contacts, view and edit users. And I think that should be good for now. So we'll hit create, go confirm, and I'll just copy this integration token. And so to save us always getting that private integration token, what we'll do instead of having it hard coded out in the open like this, we'll go to authentication, we'll go generic credential type, we'll click on this, we'll go bearer auth, and I'm gonna create a new credential, and I'm just gonna name it GoHighLevel calendar tutorial, and I'm gonna paste in my private integration token, and I'll hit save. And so I can just remove that now. But we need to add in another header, which is the version. If we come back to the documentation, you can see that there's a header parameter that's required, and that's the version. So we're gonna need to put the name as version and then the value as 2021-04-15. So I'll paste in the value since I already had it, put the name as version. And then we'll come back to the documentation. You can see we need to send through the start date and the end date that we want to search for. So come back to n8n, click on send body, and then we can just use fields below. So we'll go start. Okay, so the reason why it's not working is because it's actually meant to go through the query parameters, not in the body. So we'll set that up again in query parameters. So switch on query, send query parameters, and we'll go start, date, add parameter, we'll go end, date, and we'll put the start Unix in the start date, put the end time and the end date, we'll hit execute step, and then we should get back some free slots, but for some reason it's only sending through a trace ID. Let me have a look as to why that is. So actually what I had to go and do was just put a time zone in the field that I was setting. I just put the time zone of New Zealand for right now because we're in daylight savings. And then I was sending through for Monday, but the thing is my Monday is actually blocked off. So I'll send it through again and we'll see, is Tuesday at 10 a.m. good? So it's gonna send. We'll come to executions and we'll grab it, copy to editor, we'll hit unpin, we'll hit execute workflow. And then you can see it's returning all the available slots. So what we'll do from here is we'll add a code node. Code node, code in JavaScript. And so I'll just paste in a code node that I just had created. So hit execute step. And then it's gonna say whether the time that the user wants is available or not. So the time was 10 a.m. and you can see here it's available. And it's just going to say if it's available or not. And then from here, all we need to do is add a respond to webhook node. So we'll go respond to webhook and we'll change it to respond with JSON. And then all we need to put in here is just JSON. And then you can see that it's sending through the status, which says that it's available, the message, which should be requested time 10 is available. And then all the available slots if the agent needs it in case it's not available. Before we go back to Retell, we need to change our webhook response to using respond to webhook node, and then we'll save. So I'll send this through again. I'll just hit refresh. And you can see the tool result is exactly what we mapped it out to be. And it says I have Tuesday, November 4th at 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. or 10 a.m. Obviously it should just say that 10 a.m. is available, but this is alright. And I'll just say 10 a.m. is good. And so now it's going to send create contact or update contact. So we should configure these now. So we'll go back to n8n, we'll go executions, and we'll grab this second to last one. I think it's this one. And just to check, close the headers, close the core. We can see it's update contact. So what we need to do is go copy to editor. We'll hit unpin. And then we need to add a routing rule. We'll copy the JSON body name. And you can see it's now update contact for this execution. So we'll paste that in and we'll hit rename output. And so I'm just going to name it create/update contact, or rename it create/update contact. So we'll hit execute step and it'll go down the second path. So this one's pretty straightforward, but all we need to do is, oh, actually it's not that straightforward. So we need to put an if node. So if webhook, close the core, and then in args, we need to grab the has contact ID and go boolean and go is equal to true. So that means that there is a contact ID. So in our case, it's false because it's a new client, so it doesn't have one. For that, all we need to do is go upsert or create a new contact. So let's come to the documentation and we'll go to contacts and we can just use upsert contact. It's meant to be able to update a contact or create a contact as well, but I think it's more reliable to just use update contact for people who do have contact IDs. But anyways, we'll copy the crew like we did with the get free slots, and we'll click on request for the node. We'll hit import crew. We'll paste that in, hit import, and we'll choose our authentication while we're at the top. So bearer auth, and then calendar tutorial. We can delete that, and then in our header parameters, I know we need to get our version because you usually always need to. So version is 2021-07-28. So I'll add a parameter. We'll go version, and we'll paste in that date. And then for the send body, we can just use fields below again, and then we'll just put through what we're sending through. So we'll go name, phone number, and email. So we'll go name, phone. I think so in GoHighLevel, it's just name, email, and phone. So that's what you need to send through. So name, phone, and email. And then for the value, we'll just drag and drop whichever one that is. So name, phone, email. And then I saw you need to put in your location ID and your body as well. So we'll add another parameter. We'll go location, and I think capital I, and then lowercase d. So we'll come back to our high level account. We'll go to business profile, or you can just grab it from up in this URL up here, but I'll just copy it from here anyways in our business profile, and I'll paste that in the value, and I'll remove that. So I'll send that through. And then the last thing we need to do for this path is we'll add another response to Webhook, and this one will just be JSON, and we'll just put contact ID. So we'll just put contact ID, and then we'll drag and drop this ID here into the quotes here. So let me change this to expression, and then we'll drag and drop this ID here into these quotes. And while we're here, we may as well create the has path as well, which will just be update contact. So I don't think it's much different from the upsert, might just be the URL. So we'll go over to update contact, and then yeah, all we need to do is change this URL and the request method. What I'll do for now is I'll duplicate this and I'll connect that to true, and then I'll change the method to a put, and then we'll change this to contact ID as an expression. So what I'll do is it'll be undefined for now, but that's all good. Go contacts, and then instead of email, I'll just go contact underscore ID. We'll have a look at what it's sending through, and update contact as contact ID. Yep, so it's sending through contact underscore ID, so that'll be the correct expression. And then if we check everything else, name, email, phone, and then I don't think we need location ID, but everything else is needed. So yeah, that's basically the update contact pathway done as well. And we just connect it back to the response webhook because we'll need the contact ID again as well. Well, we already have it, but we'll need to let the agent know that everything was good. So I'll go ahead and rename this to update contact, and then I'll call this one upsert contact, and I'll hit save. And then what we'll do from here is we'll grab the book appointment execution that ran, that was called from the agent. So we'll go to executions, and it would have just been this next one here from the execution that we just copied to editor, and we'll hit copy to editor. And we'll do the same thing. We'll go copy the JSON body name, and we'll just copy this because the name for this function is book appointment. And what I'll do is I'll actually just put it on top of update contact, and I'll rename it, and I'll just call it book appointment, and we'll execute step, and it should come out on the other side through this middle part here. From here, it's pretty straightforward. All we need to do is create the appointment and GoHighLevel. So we'll come back to the documentation, and we need to find it. It'll probably be in calendars, calendar events. Then we need to go create appointment. So we'll copy the curl again and search request, and we'll hit import curl, paste it in and hit import. And once again, we'll choose the authorization that we created before. So GoHighLevel calendar tutorial. And once again, we'll have to put the version in. So we'll find the version value, which is just 2021-04-15. Paste that in the value. And then we'll also need to find the calendar ID, the location ID, the user's contact ID, and the start time. If we scroll down, it's already been mapped out for us in the body, but we can remove all this. So the title, meeting location, just remove everything until you just have what's required. So, but actually I might leave description just to put the notes in there. So service interest is Botox. And then we'll remove the address, remove everything. So we'll just keep the calendar ID, location ID, contact ID, and the start time. And then all we need to do is just basically map it out, right? So put the start time and the start time. And then put the contact ID and the contact ID. And then we'll need to grab our location and our calendar ID. So I'll grab the calendar ID from the other request node just to make it easier. So calendar ID, paste that in there. And then the location ID, we'll have to come back to GoHighLevel to copy that. And then paste that in there. And then if I hit execute step, it's not going to work because that's not a valid contact ID, but that looks good now. So what I'll do is I'll rename this, create appointment, and then I'm just going to have a code node. So code in JavaScript, and I'll paste in the code. But because it failed, it's not sending anything through. So what we need to do is go to settings, put always output data, and then on error, we need to put continue, hit execute workflow. So it can just go through. And then what this code node does that we just put in is lets us know whether it created the appointment successfully or it failed. And then all we'll do from there is add another respond to webhook node. We'll just go JSON again, and we'll change it to expression. And we'll do that same thing. So JSON, and we'll hit save. Now if I just refresh that booking, it should book now because it'll run through, create the contact ID, and then use that contact ID to book the appointment. So if we have a look here, book appointment is true. If we check GoHighLevel and we come to calendar and we go to next week on Tuesday, you can see we've got John Doe here for 10 a.m. So that's great. And so that's basically that flow done for booking an appointment. So now let's restart the flow and we'll go down the appointment modification route. Let's go new, manual chat. How can I help you today? I want to reschedule my appointment. What phone number did you use to book the appointment? What phone number did I use to book the appointment? Copy that, paste that in there. So to confirm that, and I'll say yes. Well, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Oh, that's my fault. I didn't even set up the functions. So what we need to do now is obviously set up the get appointment phone function. We'll come to appointment modification. We'll go tools. We'll click add and we'll go custom function. And we'll go get underscore appointment underscore phone. We'll grab our URL and I'll paste in the schema. This one's pretty simple. We're just sending through the phone number. But you can see here in the description, it says the phone number to search for appointments. If user says this one or use this number, then send a 0. So basically what that is going to do is that I'm going to put a code node that'll say basically if it's a 0, then it'll use the from number. When they say this number, it'll obviously be the phone they're calling from. And it'll use that number instead of having to extract that user's number. We'll have a speak during execution and we'll say looking for your appointment now, and we'll save that. And we may as well add in the other functions as well. So we'll add in get appointment by email. So get appointment email, we'll grab our URL. And once again, the schema is pretty simple. It's just the email, format the JSON, and we'll say the same thing, looking for your appointment now, and we'll save that. And we'll add in update appointment. So update appointment, which is just reschedule appointment. We'll paste in our URL, we'll paste in our schema, and you can see that it's just the event ID because that's what we need, and then the new start time for the appointment to be rescheduled to. Format that, and I'll just say updating that now. And then we need to add a couple more functions. So add another custom function. This one will be cancel appointment. We'll grab that same URL, paste it in there. We'll grab our schema, paste it in there, and then all we're sending through is just the event ID and the cancellation reason, which probably we don't need to send through. And then speak during execution again, and we'll say canceling that appointment now, and we'll hit save. And then we need to add in 2 more functions, but they're just going to be from appointment booking. So I'm just going to copy the schema from here, go add, go custom function, I'll paste in the schema, and then the name, check availability, grab the URL, paste that in there. And then once again in the speak during execution, just got to say checking for that now. It's the exact same function from book appointment, and we'll hit save. And then I'll copy the book appointment one as well. Go, come back to tools, go custom function, paste in the schema, the name, book appointment, copy the URL, paste that in there. And then once again have a speak during execution, and I just got to say booking that now, and we'll hit save. So yeah, quite a few functions in here. So we'll save all the changes that we've made to the agent, and then I'll just say yes, and it should fire off get appointment phone now. Okay, that's good. And so we'll go back to n8n, and we'll come to executions. We'll grab that latest one again. So we'll go copy to editor, we'll hit unpin, and we'll go add a routing rule. The same thing, so name, copy and paste that into the first value, and then the second value will be whatever the function is called that's being sent through. So we'll send that through. So our first node is actually going to be an if node, and what we need to do is come to Webhook, come to our args, and then drag and drop the phone number, and we just need to go if string starts with 0, then if it's true, then that means they want to use their from number, and if it's false, we'll use the number that they sent through. There's heaps of ways that you can filter through. This is just one of them. I just came up with this right now, so you know, how smart am I? But anyways, from here we're gonna need to get the user's information. So we'll come back to the documentation, and we're gonna need to go to contacts, I think. So search contacts, here we are. And all we need to do is we'll just copy the curl once again. From our false node, we'll go request. We need to hit import curl, paste that in. And we can remove the authorization, go generic credential type, bearer auth, and then the authorization that we created at the beginning. And I think we'll need to put our version through again. So yeah, version 2021-07-28, version 2021-07-28. And then in the body, we're going to need to send it through in JSON. It's a pretty specific type needed for this request. Yeah, they don't even have like a thing you need to send through. I've already used this before, so I just pasted in that JSON, and it's not going to be email. It'll be phone number, so I'll change that to phone number. Well, for this one anyways, it's going to be phone number. And then all we need to do is grab our location ID. So I'll come back to high level, and I can just grab the location ID and the URL, and I'll paste that in there. And I think that's all we need to send through. So I'll hit execute step, and it's saying that there's 0 contacts with that number. Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to work right now. Maybe we should try email. Okay, so it found me off my email straight away, which is weird. That's alright, because we just been testing it through the chat. We can sharpen it up when we call it up in there, but we'll replace that value with the phone number. Change the field name back to phone. And what we'll do for now is we'll just pin this, and I'll rename it to phone number lookup. And so from there, all we'll do is we'll come back to the documentation. We'll come to appointments underneath contacts, and we'll use this request here, get appointments for contact. And it's pretty straightforward. So we'll copy the curl. We'll duplicate this request node. We'll hit import curl, paste that in there, and hit import. We'll choose our predefined credential again. We'll grab our version header again, version, paste that in there, and I think that's all we need. So I'll hit execute step. Well, I didn't put my contact ID in there, so that's the last thing we need to put in there. So just ID underneath contact ID. We'll hit execute step, and then you can see we've got a appointment returning back to us, which is on Tuesday at 10 a.m. And from here, all we need to do is add a respond to webhook node. So respond to webhook, and this one will just be JSON, and it'll be the same expression with JSON. So everything in the last node. Let's run this through again, and let's actually use our email. So it's saying that we have an appointment at 3 p.m, which is not true. We'll come back to n8n, we'll check it out. So we'll hit debug in editor, we'll hit unpin. I'm pretty sure it didn't find a contact, right? So what we need to do from here and phone number lookup is put settings and go always output data, and do that same thing to on error to continue. And so what this means is that just going to give an error back to the agent, and the agent will see that we didn't find that person's appointment. So let's send this through again. And so now it's saying I'm having trouble accessing the system with that number. What email address did you use to book the appointment? And so I'll just say my email address. You can easily just have it like ask what phone number or email address did they use. This is just the way that I've just got it prompted for this video or for this agent. But I'll say yes. So now it's sent get appointment email. So we'll go back to n8n to set that path up. And once again, it'll just be the latest one that would have run. And if you want to check, you can. So check the webhook, call get appointment email. We'll copy to editor. We'll hit unpin. And basically all we're going to do is just copy and paste these three nodes here. We're going to come back to our switch. We're going to add a routing rule. Once again, copy the expression and then copy that result from the expression and paste it in there. I'll just rename this lookup by phone, and I'll name this other one lookup by email appointment. And so you probably can't see, but I just connected it up. So connected it up to lookup by email, and then yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. And since we've already got the node set up, we just need to change this to email or whatever the arg is coming through as, and then we need to change the field to email as well. And so if I hit execute step, it's going to find my contact, and then it's going to do the same thing. So look for my appointments with my contact ID, and then you can see it's found it this time. And then if we return that back to the agent, it's just going to let the agent know that we found that appointment. So I'll just remove this response and I'll use this same one here. So if we resend that, how it's going to look for the appointment with our email. So it's found our appointment. So if you check the tool result, it's what it should be. And it says, perfect, I found your appointment on Tuesday, November 4th at 10 a.m. Is that the one? I'll say yes. And would you like to reschedule to a different time or cancel the appointment? I'll say reschedule, so we can set up that pathway. So reschedule. What day and time would work best for you? I just said, can we do later on that same Tuesday, maybe 4:30 p.m. and check the availability. And it used update appointment, which is good, but what it should do is confirm. So I will add that in real quick. I just fixed that. So now it's asking 4:30 is available. Would you like to book that? Say yes. And now it should use update appointment. So use update appointment, and it's saying that it's all done, but we need to set that up once again. So let's come back to n8n, come to executions again, grab the one that would have just run. We'll go copy to editor, unpin that. Come back to our switch, add a routing rule, do the same thing. Yeah, a lot of this is just repetitive. And yeah, copy the update appointment, put that in value 2. We'll hit execute step. And then this one's pretty straightforward. We just need to go to the documentation and find the update appointment request. So we'll find that. Come to calendars, go calendar events, and update appointment. So we'll copy the curl here. We'll add a request to that route that you can see it's passing through. We'll hit import curl. We'll paste that in, and we'll import that in. So we can remove the authorization again, connect it from the auth type. And then we'll need to add in our version header again. So we'll go version. This one's 2021-04-15. So I'll copy that, paste that in the value. And then for the body, once again, remove all this. And all we need to send through for this is the calendar ID and the start time. So we've got our new start time, which is just, we can just map that out in here from the webhook. So drag and drop it from the webhook. The calendar ID we can just grab it from the getting free slots request. And then from the webhook, replace this event ID placeholder with the actual event ID. So if we hit execute step, looks like it rescheduled that smoothly. So we'll come to calendars. We'll check for the 11th, and we can see here that we've got it. It's rescheduled to 4:30 here. So appointment time rescheduled. I'll come back to the agent and we'll resend that. We'll see what it says because we already rescheduled it to 4:30. So it says that it already moved it. We'll check the execution actually. And yeah, it looks like it did, but we forgot to do one thing, or I forgot to do one thing, and that's to just connect it back to the responsive webhook. And I'll rename this to reschedule/update. And then the last one would be to just cancel it. So if we come back to the agent, and it's going to say that, is there anything else I can help you with today? And I'll just say, actually, can you cancel that appointment? Before I cancel that, would you prefer to reschedule instead? I have some great times available next week. You should probably prompt that out because the user might get annoyed. But so I'll say, no, I want to cancel. Understand, can I ask the reason? I'll just say, just want to cancel. All right, and so that's called cancel appointment. So that's sort that pathway out. So come back to n8n. We'll go to executions, grab that last one. We'll go copy to editor, hit unpin, and then in the switch again, add another routing rule. Same thing, copy the expression, and then copy the value, paste it in value 2, and I'll just rename it. We'll cancel, and we'll send that through. So we'll come back to the documentation, and we'll find the delete event. So this one right here. So all we need to do is copy that, and we can duplicate this node right here, connect it to the cancel, come back to import curl, and import that. Import, so the same thing in webhook. Of course, we need to replace this placeholder, the actual event ID, change our authentication bearer auth that we were using or that we created before. We can delete that. We'll probably have to add the version 2021-04-15. So I'll paste that in the value, and I think that's all we need to send through to cancel the appointment. So instead of canceling it right now, I'll just connect it back to the responsive webhook node, and I'll hit save, and then I will send it through in the agent again so that we can see it cancel. So it looks like that failed. Let's go debug in editor, unpin. Well, there can't be a space between the calendar events and yeah, that's why it failed, because of the space in the URL or the headers. So I'll hit save again, and I'll send that through again. So it says that it's been cancelled. If we check the execution, looks like it ran through. And actually, what we should do is do the same thing on both reschedule and cancel to always output data. That way we know if it failed to run. So it's not, telling the user that it's been cancelled or been updated when it hasn't. And we'll come back to our calendar. You can see it's still there. Hopefully if I refresh, it'll be gone. And there we go. You can see it's not there anymore. So that's all the appointment management side done. The only two things would be when the call begins, to run the phone number of the person calling and see if they're a returning client. And then at the end of the call, if you wanted to send their data through to GoHighLevel. So we'll do the inbound webhook real quick. It's pretty simple. It's just this phone number lookup note when the call begins. So we'll duplicate this and we'll bring it to the top. And I'll just rename it to look up user, and we'll change this to phone, and we'll change it to whatever the value is when we call it. It should be something like from number. Yeah, so to set that up, we'll need to grab our webhook URL, and we'll copy that, come back to Retell, we'll put it in the agent level webhook, and then we need to go back home, we need to come to phone numbers. And then I just chose the agent, and we need to put that same URL in the inbound webhook. Okay, so I'm calling the number. And I just needed it to hit the webhook. And so if we come back to n8n and we go executions, so we got the execution here. If we check the webhook, it's call inbound. And this is what we need to use to run the call at the very beginning of the call. So we'll copy to editor, we'll unpin that, we'll add a routing rule, and this one, first value will be event, and it'll be call inbound, and we'll copy that, we'll put in value 2. Oh, that's not right. And then the second value will be call inbound. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it all the way to the top. And I'll just call it call. I'll just call it start. From here, I'll just connect it to this lookup user. Send it through the switch. And what we need to do is, instead of this expression email, we need to replace it with the from number here. And then we'll go execute step. And I found my contact. And then after that, we'll just add a code node. So code in JavaScript. And I'll just paste it in. And all it's going to return is if the contact was found. So true or false. And you can see in my case, it's found. And what we're going to do from there is add a response to webhook. And then we're going to use JSON. And then the response body, we're going to have to let the agent know that there's dynamic variables returning to it. So I'm going to paste in the JSON that I have. Yeah, it looks just like this, like when you create a call from out of Retell. But if you want to find it, come to the Retell AI documentation. Why is this so zoomed in? And we'll search up inbound. Maybe this one, inbound call webhook. Yeah, you can find it all in the documentation, how you should return it. So this is what you should return it as. So you can just copy this, give it to your AI agent, and whatever variables you want. But that's pretty straightforward. The only thing that we'd need to do is replace this agent ID with our actual one. If we come back to agents and we copy that agent ID there, and we just paste that in there. Yeah, that should be good there. And yeah, that should be sweet. So I'll give it a call and I'll see if it recognizes us. So
thank you for calling Radiance MedSpa. This is Sophia, their AI assistant. Am I speaking with John Doe?
Yeah, you are.
I'm here whenever you're ready. What can I assist?
Yeah, so you can see that it recognized me. The only other thing I can think of that you might want to have, you can have a bunch of other functions, but this is like mainly what people will use their receptionist for, is around booking. The only other thing I can think of that's like a fundamental would be the end of call, right? So how I would set that up is use the call analysis. So if we check this last one, it would have been this last one here made. So if we check it out, we get headers, and if we just search up analysis, you can see John Doe called Radiance MedSpa and spoke with AI assistant, and just gives a summary of the call. So if we copy this to editor, the best thing I can think of is to use an inbound webhook to go high level through the automation. So if we come back to high level and we go to automation, and then we just go create workflow, we're going to start from scratch. And we go add new trigger. This one will just be an inbound webhook. We copy this webhook. So in the switch again, we'll have to add a routing rule. This one will be event. And it looks like it didn't copy over from the execution, so we'll have to grab it again. So copy to editor once it loads. So unpin that. And this one is call analyze, so load it through. We'll copy that, paste that in there, hit execute step. And then what we would have to do is go request. And this one will be a put. Put's usually more reliable than a post for the inbound webhooks. And then we'll copy this URL again, paste it in the URL. And then we don't need to send any headers or anything. We just, whatever we want to send through, we can send through in the body. And let's say we wanted to send through the summary, and then contact ID. So there'll have to be a bit of coding around the contact ID, whether it's a returning client or not. So you might have to put a code node before you do this, but just for this example, I'm going to map it out from the dynamic variables, and then the summary will be from the analysis. So if we go analysis, and then we put the summary and the value. If we send this through, hit execute step, you can do all sorts of whatever you want, like put it in an opportunity card, or like visually show it in your pipeline, whether they booked an appointment or not. From here, I'll just have it find a contact. So I'll go find contact, then we'll go add field, And we'll just go contact ID, get inbound webhook trigger, contact ID, and we'll hit save action. And then we'll move this action over to here. And then the action I'll do from here, maybe we'll go note, and we'll go add to notes, and we'll just go inbound webhook trigger summary. We'll just go called right now our AM PM format. Right, you can put whatever you want, but I'll publish that and I'll save it. So if I send this through and we come back to high level, if we go back to workflows and then we go back to contacts, if I click on my contact, I should have a note here under notes. Yeah, so, but yeah, you see what I mean? Like if you want it to track every call that that user calls from, and then I'll just rename that to end of call report. I guess I may as well test it out now. So I'll give it a call.
Thank you for calling Radiance Med Spa. This is Sophia, their AI assistant. Am I speaking with John Doe?
Yeah.
Welcome back, John. How can I help you today?
Just want to book an appointment.
Perfect, John. Let's get some details confirmed first. Is your email still dementry@gmail.com?
Yes.
Got it. And is +642040240457 still the best number to reach you?
Yep.
Great. What brings you in today? We offer Botox, dermal fillers, laser treatments, and facials.
Do you guys do hairlines?
We don't offer airline services, but we do provide Botox, dermal fillers, laser treatments, and facials.
Yeah, I'll do some Botox.
Understood. What day and time works best for your appointment?
Yeah, can we do like Tuesday at, let's say like 1 p.m.?
Let me check our availability for Tuesday around 1 p.m. I have Tuesday, November 4th at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., or 1 p.m. available. Which works best for you?
Yeah, 1 p.m. is good.
Perfect. Booking that now for Botox on Tuesday, November 4th at 1 p.m. I'm having trouble booking that time. Let me try another slot nearby for you. I also have Tuesday, November 4th at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. available. Would either of those times work for you?
What happened there? Service interest, Botox.
It looks like there was a hiccup booking your 1 p.m. appointment, so I'm checking up.
Okay, this is an issue of retels. Of if it's a returning client, then it replaces the contact ID and the function as the variable placeholder. So if we go copy to editor, and then we just go, you know, like I said, there's heaps of different ways to filter it. But if we just go if, and we go from dynamic variables, and we go contact ID, and we go string, and we go exists, then if that's true, we can send that through. But what we'll do is we'll copy and paste this as well. And this one will just be the dynamic variable of contact IDs, so that it's actually sending something through. So if you see, so this one is actually contact ID, and then if we close the call, the contact ID is sending through the variable, but not the actual dynamic variable. I'll remove this and I'll connect that up to there. That should be good. So I will give it one last test.
Thank you for calling Radiance Med